Thanks very much. You don't know how much it means to me to be here from a little fly-by-night company. Seriously though, FedEx, on behalf of FedEx, I'd like to extend our thanks to LaunchTN and the reverse pitch, and especially to Jill, who's been very patient with us. Thank you very much. We at FedEx have the reputation for being a very high-tech company, and we like to cultivate that reputation. We did, in the beginning, change the way people ship packages and kept track of their information. So we were among the forefront of those using the barcodes, using the labels, the information printed like we do, the electronic devices that our couriers held. So we like to maintain that reputation of a high-tech company, but we still have one little problem. A lot of people like to write on paper to give us their instructions on how to ship their packages. So we want to eliminate our paper airway bills. FedEx is the world's largest express transportation company. We have both trucks and planes. We deliver time-sensitive shipments, 1 or 2 days commitment to a definite time. We have fast and reliable delivery to every U.S. zip code, every U.S. address, and over 220 international countries. So that being said, our customers are obviously all over the world. We have everything from the Amazon shipping hundreds of thousands a day to the individual customers shipping once or twice a year. So our challenge is to eliminate the manual paper airway bills. We have most of our customer information. I think in the U.S. the percentage is about 92% that comes in through automation devices, customer automation devices, or FedEx.com. I think in the international arena it's more along the lines of 76%, so that leaves 8 and 24 that come in with paper airway bills. We have some small customers and individuals who just bring in a handwritten airway bill and expect us to ship it, and we take those gladly and do their business for them. The paper airway bill has several plies. We have 4 different plies for the domestic airway bill in the U.S., and at least 4 on the international paper airway bills. They go to different places like billing and the recipient and the sender. Our project is to eliminate paper airway bills. In case you hadn't figured it out, we don't like those things. That's the ultimate ideal outcome, is 100%. We always shoot for 100% at FedEx. We get very, very close, and we want to get rid of 100% of these airway bills if we can. One of the reasons is there's a lot of handling involved. There's a lot of errors when we transcribe. We have people that have to transcribe these things. We have some scanning systems that actually take pictures and put them in a database so that they can be transcribed somewhere else at a data entry center. We receive about 220,000 U.S. shipments a day with paper airway bills, about 120,000 shipments a day internationally with paper airway bills. The current annual cost just for the air bills themselves, doesn't count any kind of handling costs or anything like that, $4.4 million in the U.S. We have 11 different types. And in international, we have 60 different types, and that's $9.7 million a year. The initial recommendation, should you decide to provide us with one, we'd like 30 days from this presentation. We have a budget discussion after that, depending on your solution and what you think it'll take. The milestones are there. We want the project to start in January 2015. Can anybody guess why? Because beginning next month is peak, and we don't bother our IT people and our systems people during peak. We have lots and lots of shipments coming in. We've got enough problems to deal with without starting something new. So we want to start the project officially in January 2015, but you can make some contacts and do other things before then. We want the research. We think you can be done with the research of our systems and our operations. That could be complete by March 2015. And the research of the possible alternatives that you might want to come up with, we think you could have by April 2015. Then we'd like to have the final recommendation by June 1st of that year. The internal resources, right now it's just me. My name is Joel Townsend. I'm a project engineer in Global Operations Technology. This is the very best managing director in the corporation, Jamie Bailey, who also just happens to be my managing director. Our ideal partner, Someone who understands shipping, the operations, logistics, experience capturing data, sending it to a database. International shipping knowledge is, sometimes they say it's a plus. This is a little bit more than a plus. This is pretty important for us. The partner that we go with must understand our customers come first, and our employees are very important. That is a very important cultural outline that we have at our company. We've had many attempts over the years. We've got FedEx.com. We've got customer automation devices that are specifically programmed and given to our customers. We've done a lot of different things over the years, and we are making progress. The paper airway builds numbers are going down, and they continue to go down. But there are always going to be some people who walk up and want to send one, and all they have is a paper airway bill. If you decide to partner with us, you'll have to sign a mutual non-disclosure agreement, and there will be probably a contract required to proceed. This is a picture of an air bill. If you've never seen one, you can go to any FedEx office location. They'll probably have one behind the counter if you want to look. You'll see down there at the bottom, share your addresses at FedEx.com, store your addresses at FedEx.com. We promote on the paper airway bills getting off the paper airway bills.
Don't use.
This is an international airway bill. I've highlighted the bottom section there. This is about an 8.5 by 11 sheet. There are things down there that you need to do when you ship internationally. You need to make customs declarations. You need to describe the contents of the packages. You need to perhaps provide harmonized codes. So that's one of the reasons that you need to know a little bit about international shipping. Questions?
Simple one. Have you thought about charging for the air bills?
You'd be surprised how many times I brought that up. Marketing doesn't like me. Next question.
Is the issue that you're having to affix a piece of paper here? Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking, if you put a QR code or a barcode or something, and people scan that to pull up data, say on a tablet, would that solve the issue, or is the issue that you're having to affix anything and take ink or paper?
The issue is mainly the data collection. If you put it on a paper airway bill and you write it, we don't have that information ready to go to our system. Somebody has to input that, or it has to be scanned into one of our systems that deals with that and input later
So have you thought about like associating a barcode or a QR code or something, say at the store, and the customer types it in on their phone or on a terminal, and then that links to your computer system?
That's just the point. If we could get them on a terminal or a phone, we wouldn't have these things.
Okay.
Hi. So, quick question, kind of two parts. Are you seeing most of this coming from businesses or personal? And whichever one sways more, what is the real ideal use case? And I'm thinking on the personal side, maybe someone logging on to a mobile application at home and doing it from there. Is that something that you would foresee a future outcome being, and one that you would like?
Good question. The smaller shippers are the ones that really use the paper airway bills most. We do have some large ones. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if we still do it or not, but many years ago we used to pre-print airway bills with customer information on them through the computer system. But that way we already had the data because it was in our computer system to go to the printer. But larger companies don't want to take the time to fill out these things. They have customer automation devices, FedEx.com, specialty solutions that go through their computer system. So it's usually the smaller customers, I think. Sure, go ahead, Jamie.
One of the things that we really wanted to point out is right now, this might sound like a little bit of an interesting pitch from our side because it's not as technologically savvy as some of the other things that you've heard as of today, but this really for us is our core. So if you have something that really would change or revolutionize the way in which we retrieve that data, that really changes the core and changes the way in which we can operate in the future, that's really what we're looking for. Largely, we have reduced the number of paper airway bills on the U.S. side, but from an international perspective, there still is a really high number there. Even just from the various numbers of international airway bills on the international side, we have approximately 60, which that in itself is a complexity that we face.
So it sounds like a lot of these are being filled out over here. It sounds like a lot of these are being filled out at the store locations. Are you, I mean, this probably doesn't solve everything, but have you considered going paperless and just installing iPad terminals?
We do have something called a kiosk that's available at the FedEx offices. I couldn't tell you where people fill these out most. Maybe on their knee on the way on the subway. I don't know. That may be something you could find out for us.
Last question. Where are the distribution centers for these paper airway bills? Where are people getting them?
Well, we provide them. I mean, but they come centrally. If a customer calls and says, "I need supplies, boxes, packing, anything that we supply." You've seen the boxes with the logo on them.
Mm-hmm.
We give them those. We also provide the airway bills if they ask for them. So I mean, that's us. They're distributed around the country. So.
Okay.
So you mentioned the cost for printing all the airway bills. I'm not in FedEx, but how does the actual handling and those kind of hidden costs associated with that compare to the $4.4 million and $11 million there? Is it staggeringly higher? Is it about the same? Any notion there on the other aspect of your problem?
I'd have to do some research on that. This was kind of a quick deadline to make this presentation, so I didn't have time to do that. I'm not quite sure how we could answer that question. I can't answer it today, and I'm not quite sure we know all the hidden costs.
One thing we can talk about, though, is from an infrastructure standpoint, if we can take down the paper airway bills, we can take down a significant amount of infrastructure. So for us, that's huge. If we can get rid of that layer of infrastructure that we have today, reduce the hardware, that's a big win.
Yeah, and I had asked earlier, the 60 on the international side, is that all language?
It's a mix from customs clearance regulations, language, and just local requirements.
Thank you.